All right, we're going to get started here. It's a couple minutes past 1 o'clock. So first, always want to hope that everybody's still out there, still healthy, safe, keeping families, coworkers, friends, everyone safe is the most important thing in times like these. So anyway, so today we are talking about some other Microsoft Office 365 products. Last week we did Teams, so there are 2 Teams webinars up on our YouTube channel. Feel free to go check them out. Today we were talking about Planner and Microsoft ToDo. So anybody that knows me, I am a big planner. I do truly believe behind this quote that a goal without a plan is only a dream. I do truly believe that. Everything inside NST typically does have a plan and a process around it, which has helped the entire organization grow. And hopefully, what I'm going to show you today can help your organization grow, as well as hopefully streamline some plans and some processes. So, with that being said, let me bring over my demo account. So I am now in Office 365. The name of the user is Matt Demo. What we're going to start with is we're going to start with Planner, and then we're going to jump into ToDo. Planner is a mobile app, so it is an app that you can download to your mobile device, and it is also a web app. There is currently no desktop app for Microsoft Planner. Microsoft has talked about making the desktop app, but you'll find that it works really well inside the web browser. So let's open up and take a look at what Planner looks like. So this is a demo plan that I have set up. Basically, every plan typically starts with a group. So everything in Microsoft Office 365 revolves around groups. So a team is part of a group, a plan is part of a group, SharePoint is part of a group. So when you do create an Office 365 group, it can create, first of all, it does create a SharePoint site. It does create a team, but you can also create a plan around it. So I'm going to walk you through how to create a plan, what a plan looks like, and what we typically use it for inside of NST. So up on the left-hand side, you're going to see a couple of icons here. You're going to see New Plan, Planner Hub, and My Tasks, right? So New Plan, very self-explanatory. We create a new plan. You can call the plan whatever you like. The one I have already created is called NST Demo Plan. And whatever you want to call the plan, you can choose the group, right? So this particular user, Matt Demo, is only part of these 2 groups, right? So I'm going to use the demo group and I'm going to create the plan. And Microsoft will then create the plan, and you'll see we have NST Demo Plan 2. And you'll see the same people who are in the group are also part of it. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my plan that's got some data in it. Okay. Also on the left-hand side is if you were part of multiple groups that had 1 or more plans of each of it, if you wanted to look here at the Planner Hub, you would see all of the plans that you are currently part of. Okay. Your recent plans are the plans that you currently have just recently worked on. And again, Microsoft advertising to download the Planner app from your mobile device. Again, going back to my plan that's got some data in it. So we worked here on the left-hand side. So my tasks, right? So anytime you build out a task inside of a plan, you can assign it to somebody. So the really good thing about my tasks is that you would potentially see any task that has been assigned to you across multiple plans so that you don't have to go to each plan to figure out what has been assigned to you. So if I click on my tasks, you'll see these particular tasks have been assigned to me that have not been completed. The ones over here I've already completed, and I currently have nothing in progress. So this is a really good way is as you start to build out plans across multiple groups, the last thing you want to do is try and go through every single plan to figure out which one you have a task assigned to. My task will do that for you. All right, going back into the plan that's got some data in it, we're going to walk through the middle, and then we'll do what's up on top. So these here up on top are called buckets, right? And these are typically categories that may have multiple tasks inside of them. Okay, so you see I set up a buckets called buckets, a bucket called sales, marketing, and something called future. Inside of each bucket, you typically will have tasks, right? And I'm going to create a new task inside of this bucket. And if I click on new task, it'll ask me what the task name is. So let's put in webinar task, okay? I can pick a due date. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be due tomorrow, and I'm gonna assign it to Matt Brown. Okay, so the good thing about this is that once I have assigned it to Matt Brown, oops, sorry. Okay, and I click on add to task, Matt Brown will get an email saying that you've been assigned a task. So the good thing about this, and one of the reasons why I love Planner, is because it has a sense of accountability around and responsibility, because you have been assigned an email that says you've been assigned this task, right? So there's no way of getting around it. In addition, since there is a due date on it, right, you can hold people accountable for the task. All right. So I'm going to add this task, and you'll see it comes down here in the bottom. Okay. And you'll see this is another task that I created earlier, but you'll see there's a difference between the two, right? So if I'm going to open up this task that I just created, okay, these are the categories that I have to add, right? So I can change it from one bucket to another one if I want. I can make the progress of this task from not started to in progress. I can change the priority of the task. I can pick the start date. So I'm going to pick today as a start date. And I'm going to put some notes in here. So I'm going to put in, this is a task around webinars. Okay. And I can add checklist items. I can say send invite, check registration, start webinar. Okay. I can add a file. I can add attachment. So if there's an attachment that I want to add, I can pick a file, I can make a link to somewhere else, or I can make a link to SharePoint. And then I can put in any comments in here, right? So the good thing about this, right, comments, and especially if you have more than one person assigned to the task, so I'm going to add Matt Demo to the task as well, okay, is that once you put comments in here, anybody that is assigned to the task will get an email with the comments. So in other words, if I started this task and I got halfway through, I can put in the comments here, started the task, got completed the sent invite, waiting to check registration. If I had put these comments in and hit send, anybody that's assigned to this task will get an email with that update. So that's the other good thing about this too, is that you can keep everybody updated as to the status of this task. The one thing I do want to, and if I can, just take a step back for a second. So when I look at Planner, I typically will tell people that you're going to use Planner and you're going to develop a plan. It's not typically for, you know, a one-day project or a couple hours. It's usually a week, a month, something that's got some substantial time around it. I've seen and helped customers develop their marketing plan in here, their sales plan in here, their technology plan in here. Something that's got some time frame that's going to be go over a period of time that you're going to want to assign different tasks and different buckets. Okay, so staying here on this webinar task, okay, you have these checkboxes here that says show on card, okay? So if I close this task for a second, you're not going to see any of those details. But if I open up this task, you're going to see I have checked show on card, which is why you'll see item 1, item 2, and item 3 listed here on the board. Okay, this is called the board. Okay. If I want to come back here and I want to show this on the card and I want to show this on the card, when I go back to my board, you'll see these are here, right? And as I'm looking at these tasks, I can check off items that are completed. Okay. So I can come back in here to this task and you'll see that once I check off an item that's been completed, you'll see it'll strike it through. Okay. And again, I can now put in my comments that says, you know, sent, invite out, waiting for registration. Okay. And those comments will stay in here, and it will say who did it, right? So again, it does provide you an audit trail to come back and say, okay, hey, who was the one who sent the invite out? And you can say, hey, Matt Demo was the one who sent the invite out. Okay. All right, a couple other things up on top. Here, I can copy this task. I can move this task from one plan to another, or I can delete this task, or I can copy the link to somewhere else, right? So it gives you a couple of abilities to move around this task. The other thing I like about it, is you have labels, okay? So I've created a couple labels here, right? They only give you 6. They are different colors, which is nice, because you'll see once I pick this label, okay, you'll see it as that label there, right? And we'll see later that we can actually filter out the task by the label, okay? Coming back in here, and I can make changes to this label. So if I want to change this from management to ownership, I can, okay? So you have the ability to classify these labels, okay? All right, again, staying up on top here, buckets, sales, right? So within each bucket, you have a couple options here. I can rename this, I can delete this, or I can move this, right? So if I want to see my sales bucket first, I can move that, right? And I can keep moving it down the line, okay? Again, so I've seen this can go as wide as you like, okay? And then typically what you'll see is you'll see the more active plans right to the left, okay? Here's another task that I've assigned, right? I've assigned it actually to 2 labels, so you can have it assigned to 2 labels or as many labels as you want. Again, I can change the priority, so if I make this urgent, you'll see that when I close this, you'll see it gives me that urgent symbol, okay? Okay, so that's how we create tasks and update tasks, okay? If we want to complete a task, so I'm going to take this one that really doesn't have any data in it, right? And I'm going to say that this is completed, okay? So once I say that this is completed, you'll see it will go away, and it will come down here that says, hey, look here, my tasks are completed. The one thing to keep in mind, right, is if I come back here to this task, right, if I check off everything that's been done in here, right, it still does not complete the task. You got to make sure that up on here that you are changing this to completed, and then it will complete the task. And as you can see, it just groups all the completed tasks and hides them so you don't have to see them. All right, moving up top. Up top here, so here's our plan, right? So you can see we have a favorite section in here, right? So if I want to take this plan and I want to make it part of my favorites, I just click the star button and there it is, it's in my favorites. So as you build out plans, you may want a couple in your favorites that you're always going to get access to. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the chart, the board view, right? I have the ability to change it to the chart view. So the chart view will show you a couple of metrics. How many tasks we have left, how many have not started, how many have completed, how many are in progress, what are some of the priorities on them, okay? Who are they assigned to? So this will list out all the members in the group and who they've been assigned to. And all the buckets, right? So the tasks left that are in buckets. Okay. And then it will list all the open tasks here on the right to make it easy for you. If I want to look at schedule, right? So this is a monthly view of the schedule. I'm going to change it weekly. So it'll give you a task, right? Day by day and how long it takes. So this task I put down for a couple of days, which is why it's expanding a couple of days. This task was today. This task was today, which is why it only goes for 1 day. Again, I can filter out the tasks right here, okay? I can change this to month, and I can move the month back and forth should I like. So this gives you a nice view of a way to schedule and looking at, okay, so when is the new website going to be updated? You can come in here and say it's going to be updated sometime in April, as an example. All right, some other things I can do with this plan. Let me switch back to board. So conversation. So if I click on conversation, that's going to open up Outlook and I can email anybody part of this plan. Members, it'll show me all the members part of the plan. Files, it'll show me all of the files. I don't think I have any in here, maybe. Nope, it's actually going to take me to my SharePoint site. Notebook, if there is a notebook associated with this SharePoint site, it'll take you right there. Sites, obviously, it will take you to your SharePoint site. I can remove this from my favorites and I can copy the plan. So the one thing that we have helped customers with is developing a plan as a template. It may be a project plan, right? So for every project, they're going to follow these 40 steps. So we create a template plan, and then what happens is they copy the plan for the next projects, for project 1, for project 2, for project 3. And if they ever want to go ahead and make changes to the template, they still have that template there, right? So that's important if you have recurring plans that you're going to use. I can export the plan to Excel. I can copy the link to a plan. Again, copying the link just basically gives me a URL that I can link to. I can change some of the plan settings. There are very few plan settings, right? One of the there's only thing is email settings, right? So as an email is assigned to the group, let me know if there's it will give me an email if I get assigned a task, right? And the one thing is I think I have my email open here. So here, once you join the group, it'll be here. I'm going to show you ToDo a little bit later with that. So staying here for a second, and I can leave the plan. If I don't want to be part of this plan for whatever reason, I can leave the plan. Again, up at top, it's going to show you all the members. And over here, I have some filters. So if I want to filter by a particular member, I can. If I want to filter by due dates, I can, right? So if I want to filter anything that's late, I don't think I have anything that's late yet. Nope. But if I want to put anything for tomorrow, so this is due tomorrow, take out late. If I want to filter anything for priority level, urgent, there's my priority level urgent. If I filtered anybody important, I could. The one thing the filter I find really is by bucket, right? So if I want to say, hey, show me everything that's assigned to Matt Demo, right? So now it changes from the buckets up on top from categories to actually the people assigned. If I want to group it by labels, so you can see, let me scroll over here. These are labeled marketing and sales. These are labeled ownership, and that's labeled future. And then the last thing I want to group by priority, I can group by priority as well. Okay. So this is a really nice way. Microsoft has given you kind of a nice way to add tasks, to add some accountability, add the ability to assign people to tasks, to follow up on them, to make sure that they're keeping you updated on their progress inside of a task and inside of a plan. Again, you can create your own plan, meaning, hey, I want a plan for Matt Brown. You can, but I think that's the better program to do that with is ToDo, and we're going to show you that next. So without that being said, this is Microsoft Planner. I can tell you from our side at NST, we typically have a plan for every department. It typically is an annual plan. It revolves around some annual tasks that happen over the course of a year. But we always have a bucket for current tasks, meaning that, okay, in our last meeting, Matt, you got to do this. Will, you have to do this. Brian, you have to do this. And those are tasks that come out from our weekly meetings. The person that is assigning the tasks to the individuals is the person who is in charge of that department. And they're responsible for making sure that those tasks get done. All right, so with that being said, I am going to flip over to Microsoft ToDo. All right, Microsoft ToDo. So Microsoft ToDo is a mobile app, so you can download it to your phone. It is a web app, as you can see here, I'm accessing on the web, and it also is a desktop app, right? So you can have it running on your desktop. I can tell you, I use this program all the time because the number of times you go throughout the day and you're saying, I need to do that, I got to remember to do that, I got to call this person, I got to finish this project, whatever it may be, and those thoughts that typically pop in your head, if you're anything like me, happen at the oddest times, right? Watching TV, riding the bike, at a soccer game, whatever it may be. I'll just pull up my phone, I open ToDo, and I just quickly write down the task, okay? So the good thing to know about Microsoft ToDo and to keep everybody in the loop is Microsoft ToDo is replacing the tasks function inside of Outlook, okay? So if anybody is using the task function inside of Outlook, it typically currently does sync with ToDo, right? But if you're using the latest version of Outlook, especially on the web, just like here, right? When you click on tasks, it actually takes you to ToDo, okay? So the big difference between ToDo and Planner that I find is ToDo is yours, right? It is your tasks. It is your task list. It is typically not collaborative, right? That is what Planner is, right? This is your task list, right? I can tell you from experience and in working with different companies and different individuals, typically there's nothing better, right, than going through a day and saying, oh, I got that done. Oh, I got that done, right? Sense of accomplishment, right? Helps everybody get through their day. And Microsoft To Do typically, I think, helps that, okay? I'm gonna uncheck these. All right, so To Do, a couple of things. So you have a couple of categories here on your left, okay? So first one is my day, right? So I put something in here, my day, planner, and To Do webinar, which we are doing currently as we speak. The good thing about To Do, and would put it in my day, is typically when you come in here and you say, these are the 5, 10, 15 things I got to get accomplished today. If I add a task, sales demo, planner, To Do, right? Whatever I want to put in here, right? If any of these tasks don't get completed today, whatever they may be, right, they will roll to the tasks function and my day gets a clean slate, right? So you haven't lost a task, it just moves off of my day, okay? So then if I come in here, right, so anything that I flag as important, right, so if I mark this important, it just adds this to my important category. So if I look at my important category, these are all of the tasks that I flagged as important. Okay, so let's take a look at a task, right? So let's take a look at this one. So if I open it, you'll see I have some options here on the right, right? So the first option I have is I can add this to my day if I like, right? So if this is a task that was supposed to be done yesterday and I come into tasks and saying I need to get this done today, so let's just do that. So let's take the update website. So I want to add this to my day. It's then going to add it to my day. Okay. I have some options here. I can set reminders, right? Anytime, pick a date and time. I can add a due date. So I want to do this by next Monday. Okay. I can make a repeating event, right? So how many times do we have, hey, look, this is something I have to do every single week or every single day or every single month. So I can make a repeating event and I can say custom, I can make it monthly, I can make it weekly, weekdays, however I want to do, I can put in a repeating task. And the good thing about that, so if I put it for the first day of the month, every month, once I complete that task April 1st, it will mark that task as completed and then create a new one automatically for May 1st. Okay. I can add a file if I want, and I can add any notes. Okay. Let's go back to that one task of the website to use this as an example. So inside of this task, right, I can add steps. So I can add check with Brian, proofread, publish. Okay. So I can add all these steps. So all these steps are steps inside of this one particular task. Okay. So and I can cross off as I go along. Okay. And then when I accomplish them all, I can mark it as completed. Okay. So again, this is a nice, easy way to come up with a task list. Okay. Let me just refresh my screen to get rid of that repeat there. Okie dokie, a couple other things. So the beauty about this, right, is that if you are assigned a task from Planner, it will bring it in here, right? So this is really nice because now you really have one spot where all of the tasks that either A, you have created for yourself, or that B, you have been assigned from Planner, right? So you'll see this sales task 2. Let's go back to Planner. Here's this sales task 2, okay? And you'll find that, hey, if I tick this off, right, that this is completed, right, from To Do, Eventually, it will come over here and check it off. Trust me. Okay, I refresh it maybe. And there it is, right? So it has marked that task as completed. Okay. So again, this is a nice, easy way to link between Microsoft To Do and Planner. Okay. And as I assign new tasks, eventually it will pop in here. Okay. The other really nice thing about this one is flagged emails. Okay. So if you flag an email for whatever reason, it will show up in here, right? So I sent out some test emails yesterday, right? So here's some emails that are flagged. Okay. I'm going to send one more just to show you. Just give me 1 second. Okay. And let's refresh this. Okay, so here that webinar test. So if I'm going to flag this email, right, and I come back into do, and if I refresh this just to push it, eventually it will come. There it is. Okay, so there's that webinar test, right? And it's been flagged, right? So another really good thing is as you flag things in your email, right, again, it will show up on your to-do list, right? Which again is nice because if you want one spot to look at where all your tasks are, this is it, right? And if I decide to check that as completed, again, if I come back to my email, you'll see it'll put that checkbox next to that flag, okay? So that's really, really a nice feature inside of Microsoft To Do. Okay. Again, tasks here down at the bottom. This will list out all of your tasks. Okay. And then you have lists down here at the bottom, right? So I can create new lists, right? So I created a list called future tasks. Okay. So here are some future tasks. When you do create a list, this can be shared. So I can share this part, so these lists, with individuals should I want to. Okay. Again, I wouldn't use this as a full-scale, marketing or sales or technology plan. But if you're going to share a list between two people inside of a department, this may be a good way to do that. Okay. And to create the new list, I can really just type new list. So type new list, and there's my new list. Okay. All right. So to sum up, planner, collaborative, right? The ability for long-term plans and goals. Okay. Again, go back to my original thing. There is no a goal without a plan is a dream, right? There's nothing wrong with dreaming, but in order to make that happen, develop a plan around it. The ability to change the views when you look at plans. Okay. The ability to hold people on your team accountable, right? By assigning them tasks, assigning them due dates, and by having them give you updates on progress on the tasks that they've been assigned. You should see some of our tasks are, may have, 15 checkbox items and a detailed thing around it. Some tasks may go on for a month or so. Some tasks may be future tasks. We have tasks that we know that we want to do this. It's just not part of our initial immediate plan. Let's put it on the future list, right? So that's why I had this future out here. So planner, collaborative, working together as a team, right? Microsoft To Do, this is yours, right? This is my day. This is my task. These are the things that I have to get done. Anything that's been assigned to you will come through assigned to you. Anything that's planned, so these actually have dates on them. Anything that you flag in your email will be here. And then all the tasks that you've been assigned to yourself will be in here. Okay. Two really nice programs that Microsoft has provided you inside of your Office 365 subscription. I use them daily. Our team uses them daily. Please feel free to check them out. If you have any questions or any issues, again, please feel free to contact NST. I want to thank you for attending our late lunch webinars. We're going to continue to do these. Our next one is going to be Friday. We're actually going to have a vendor come in. A vendor called Vodacall is going to come in. They are a VoIP provider, and they've been helping out with a lot of our accounts that are working remotely who did not have a VoIP phone. They've been spinning people up on VoIP phones in the matter of a day, so that they can receive phone calls and make phone calls right there from their home, from either a smartphone or from a mobile app. So that may be something worth checking out. We're going to do that late lunch webinar on Friday. So please feel free to join us. I hope everybody got some value out of this as we continue to do so. And please make sure that everybody stays healthy and safe. And I'm Matt Brown if you guys have any questions.